Another perfectly good building going to waste. I'm going to email them as my last attempt to find the elusive Homo sapien in Winlaw. I just had a good informational interview with the principal of an elementary school here, who dedicated enough of her time for me to get the information I wanted. So yes, it was informative for me, not in the way she understands, but, and of course at the end I said, we both learned things, didn't we? And I don't think she did, right? When I talk about successes I've had and what teachers or those who train teachers tell me didn't have an impact on her at all. And I also said, the concept of domestication has no place in education is, you could tell she's part of the problem, right? It's good what she said. It kind of tells me that BC, more than other provinces, in its attempt to improve education, as focused on micromanaging or overstructuring it with a total absence of quality or assessment for quality, compared to other provinces. So it's definitely, even if I'd pay for a year to get a teacher certification, which devolves me from being a lifelong learner who's become a learning specialist, which, can be put into roles in education, such as teachers. And I told her, be careful using the word qualified teacher and certified teacher, because if you merge them together, it's kind of, again, you remove quality control, assessment. And of course, I understand the fears, right? It's so weird that in BC, I can't even be hired, compared to other provinces, as an education assistant with all of my education training and successes already at doing this in other schools, because they are so scared. They are so scared of what that means to them, the success that I'll bring with the learners. So it's a lost cause. I talked to the lady at the campground today, so it was me again. She may have looked for the junk mail. I'm not sure if she did. My email falling in her junk box. I did give her my resume at the end. She said, oh no, I didn't get this email. I said at the end, well, that's one of the things that I'm making an effort to explain to you for the sake of your business, is maybe you need to contact your internet or service provider and say, I'm missing email. And she did admit at the end, yeah, sometimes I don't. Okay, instead of just arguing, I didn't get it. So again, and the contradictions that she has. And when I say, well, based on the lack of communication and so many questions I ask, and and it's apparent I don't matter to them, I said I'm worried about leaving my motorcycle here. Are you going to leave it for one day? Yeah, well, that's the thing, is without communication, how am I supposed to tell you that it might be more than one day if they don't finish repairing my radiator? So they don't understand. I don't trust them. And that's justified based on their lack of effort. And I say, by the way, still no toilet paper in this. And I cleaned this shower, and a couple of days ago I took it, there was hot water. Oh no, nobody uses that. Well, when she says nobody uses that, and I know you'll side with her on this, but it means I'm a nobody. So what I've previously posted is proven again. I don't exist. It doesn't matter the evidence I provide, or that I'm right there in front of her and she's not talking to herself. She's talking to somebody that's really there, right? You can videotape that I'm there talking to her. But I'm a nobody that doesn't exist. And I'm using my own toilet paper after I ask, hey, can I have some there? And I'll go put it in the pit toilets. I was telling her which showers I'd finished cleaning. And yeah, no, it's... and if she says, there's a waiting list so long of people to get these cottages, and yet so many are empty right now. No decisions have been made. So if the girl that came after me gets it, instead of these people waiting so long on the list, supposedly this questionnaire wasn't even made, but anyways. So, and I'm proving to her again that the income would come in. So again, it's just more evidence, human standards versus Homo communis standards. And good luck with that, right? If you want to keep having kids and pretend you care about the learners or your own children, and then not admitting your own culture breakages, your own lack of human thinking tools or efforts to acquire them. So I'm leaving there, and I have another place, or I'm leaving the motorcycle, a place that I got closer to because, as I was very clear in the communication, if this develops into a friendship, it'll be my first one, so that's important to me. It's one of the 4 things that would keep me in Canada. But it didn't help at all. It might have even made it scary for the friendship to develop that I was closer, although I didn't impose myself. And the win-win scenario that we also partook in exchanging our services, didn't increase in frequency or in quality. Well, I mean, I'm not talking about my quality, but so yeah, I don't know what to tell you, but it takes effort to solve problems, and you're not even solving simple problems as a species. So no offense, but the complex ones that exist now and the ones infinitely more complex that are coming for your kids, and I'm not talking about in 100 years, I'm not talking about in 50 years, I'm not even talking about in 10 years, I'm talking about some of them are now in your lives, you don't want to admit it, or they're soon to be intensifying in your lives in the next year. So if this is not urgent enough for you as a species, I'm telling you I'm not going to change my projections for the future that is coming for you. And that doesn't mean I'll have less hardships, but it does mean that I will not have sold my humanity away, and what you guys maybe might call selling a soul away. But doing that again is talking about soul as if you automatically have one without having to do work. It's one of the ways that you devolve yourselves. If you say humanity requires work, becoming a parent requires accumulating various thinking tools and skill sets that you do not have because they weren't passed on to you, and they're not even passed on to teachers. And again, the principal didn't even want to address when I said, do we define life skills the same way? She didn't even want to go into the definition. So yeah, and I said that's something that's missing with teachers. So if your professional development, as you said, is about getting better at understanding mathematics or how to teach literacy in different ways or with kids with challenges, you're missing the point about the biggest flaw, which is the people skills, the interactions between teachers and learners. Because if that was better, believe me, you would have a lot less kids with challenges that you criticize about. So again, it starts with the older generation, and because they don't want to do the work, we have young people like Greta starting to take over the responsible adult roles because the older generation doesn't want to do it, because that requires work.